both for joining Revise's Spotlight series. I'm Trevor Park. I'm the VP of Marketing with Digital. I'm excited to have you guys both on. I've actually heard a lot about what you guys are doing. Before we kick it off, can you both introduce yourselves and what your roles are at Revolution.RE?
I'm Elizabeth Braman. I'm founder and CEO at Revolution.RE.
I'm Hal Herzog. I'm product team lead at Revolution.RE.
Well, so talk to me a little bit. So, founder, how did this come to be? Like, what was your inspiration for coming into multifamily of all industries that you could bring data insights into? Why multifamily?
Well, I was previously at a real estate capital markets platform as an operator. We were underwriting deals, looking at transactions, and every deal that came across our desk, we were challenged to use our own data as well as the $1 million worth of licensed data that we were getting every year. So what I wanted to be able to do was to use all the deals that we were reviewing with our licensed data kind of in one place. And we were also a tech company, so we had built some technology that allowed us to pull in large amounts of data sets, and still it was challenging. And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of like, what is wrong with this industry? Why is it so hard? Why is it so expensive to license data? Why is it so hard to use our own data with our licensed data to see a holistic view? And led to the place of realization that it's a failure of the industry to adopt a data standard. And they tried many years ago, and nothing ever stuck fully. So you just have a lot of data out there, different formats. I always use Excel as kind of the example. You can't have New York and NY in Excel as one data point. You have to clean it up, and it's a transactional business. So people changing jobs, people selling properties, it's just made a very challenging environment to get all your data in one place in one format.
And you guys are looking to fix that. So talk a little bit, obviously that's the primary problem, is the ability to view your data in one single source. Are there other areas that you're also solving problems with by having a platform like this?
Yeah, I mean, the use cases of clean data are numerous, whether it's powering the applications that you want to plug into your ecosystem, so technology companies that need to get access to property or resident data in order to perform. Could be your generative AI and machine learning models. They can't come up with these exciting use cases without having sufficient amounts of standardized data, and that's what we're solving. It's using your own data, but it's also taking advantage of all the amazing technologies and applications that have come about in the last few years to be able to gain insights into an industry that's been a black box for a long time.
And have you built your own language models that are like detecting this? Are you powering it with like an OpenAI sort of model? Like, how are you guys?
It's a good question, because a lot of the LLMs are open architecture, and you really have to be careful, and that's going to touch on my bonnet, which is ethical data standards and treatment of this very sensitive data. LLMs are maybe not, depending on which one, necessarily the right things to go about capriciously. You really have to be thoughtful about whether you're using open or closed architecture, and it is garbage in, garbage out. You have to be mindful of making sure your data is clean when using them. So what we're doing is basically acting as that foundational model, that layer of generating clean data for all these different various use cases, and then in contained environments, being thoughtful in how to roll out these applications in a way that is mindful of the security nature of the data.
And so with that then, is it more so the data is then anonymized before you even push it through your learning models, and then it comes back out in a more anonymized fashion? Or how is the I guess that protocol to send it into the learning, but then also send it back in a way that can still be correlated to the actual.
Everything's
original data?
anonymized for use.
Yeah.
In terms of us, we don't send any PII or anything outside of the system. That's kind of goes through our ETL process, but isn't utilized externally. And so everything that we're doing is anonymized at the property and at the owner and the user or resident level. That's just not ethical data usage.
Totally. No, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about future then. Obviously, I think one of the big areas of topics over the last couple of years has been the use of AI. Are there more advancements that you're looking to make in that kind of category? Are there other areas that you're looking to kind of take your platform beyond what you currently have in place? What's the future look like?
Yeah.
Well, certainly. Right now, you can go pretty far without using anything that would even approach AI. Simply looking at the data and slicing and dicing it in the ways you would do in Excel or something else, but in obviously a better, easier to use format. Throwing AI allows us to, at a minimum, look at things from 100 different angles or 1,000 different angles without having to press a button 1,000 different times.
Yeah.
I think once we do that, we'll be able to answer more questions and raise more questions. And I'm really interested to see what people who have access to that are going to throw back at us and see what they want to do with the AI.
Adding in market data, different demographic data, things that third-party data sets. So you want to see your CRM data or your marketing lead data. All of those create a more holistic and interesting picture of your portfolio, and everyone has a unique way that they want to view their properties and portfolios with the internal tribal knowledge that they have about real estate. What makes us or think that we are special as operators is how we add our experiences, our learnings, our community, and our perspective to our operations.
Yeah.
So
Takes it from binary data to contextual data.
exactly, and even using sentiment analysis and using feedback from our residents to flesh out. So looking at predictive models, how you can take all of this information and really first start with business rules, which at a minimum we should be applying to surface insights, opportunities, threats to the portfolio, learnings and recommendations as to where to focus. And then taking it one step further and saying, okay, how do we show the future trends? What is the data telling us? And using that with a narrative to create a story.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I'm going to ask you is hot takes. Like, what's the bee in your bonnet? What's the thing that's like boiling your biscuits? Like,
We have different ones, clearly.
Man, I like a good challenge. I really do, but I just wish it was easier to get data out of these systems. I mean, for every PMS out there, we have to learn our own special tricks for getting that data out of the system at all, and then normalizing it so that it actually makes sense. And it doesn't even have to be a standard. If everyone could just write down how to get data out of their system, it would just make life a lot easier for us, and I think for a lot of companies that are here today.
Yeah, definitely open up more opportunities for further integrations and partnerships and even just knowledge sharing. So I totally agree with you. That is one that is always a hot topic. And I appreciate that.
Oh, for me, it's being ethical in our treatment and respectful of the big responsibility that we have as vendors, as managers and owners of real estate to care for the value of the data that we've been entrusted with, to use it for good. We say do good with good data is one of our internal company mottos. because we do think that there are a lot of potential use cases for this, and the ones that we want are the ones that are additive and accretive to the property values, to the life of the managers and the teams that are working on site, as well as the residents. This is their home, this is their community, it's their biggest expense in life is your housing. So taking that is a big responsibility.
I like that. Well, I think you all did great and
Thank you.
good, and I appreciate you both for, one, obviously, like, breaking through the comfort barrier and joining us on the couch and chatting.
It's a comfortable couch.
Well, that's great, yeah. So,
Yeah, are you kidding? He's super
you're a pro.
comfortable. This is how it is most comfortable.
I love it. Well, thank you both. I really appreciate the time, and yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.